Hello and welcome. This is SAH S4, the Western Conference Finals. It is the big one. And out of 4 pilots, 3 pilots are going to go through to the main SAH final. This is going to be a very exciting race night tonight and really top class players competing today. Thank you very much, One Martian Way, for all the sponsorships. SAH playoffs this is, and you'll be seeing the real-time scorecard being updated at the center bottom of the screen as usual. Let's go through the pilot list out there. Ion FPV, IMDC, Anand, and 25 milliwatts. Just to recap the rule set for the game, as we have been following, there isn't any deviation. Rounds 1 to 6 are going to be performed straight back to back, and round 7 will be taking a 2-minute break before that. Also, another important rule to keep in mind is that for rounds 1 and 2 only, if a player disconnects, then he's able to get back into the game, and will be giving him only a minute to get back into the game for rounds 1 and 2. But after that, there will be no gaps, and the player will have to wait for the next round. If there is any issues, pilots, please make sure that you only text on the main IDR and SH discussion channel only. So that way I will be notified instantly. All right. So, okay, welcome spectators once again. Hope you are going to have a very amazing race night, and we are about to start the race. We are having an exciting track over here, but right now you're seeing just the upper layer of this track, because the track is actually going to happen inside a cave, and that's going to be very, very interesting. So let's see how the track looks like inside the cave, and that will be only apparent to us once we actually start round 1. So pilots, get ready to start with the round number 1. And get ready on the podium, because your race is going to start in less than 5. There you go. That's the main podium from which the pilots are going to take off. A beautiful track. Let's follow DC. See, look at that, taking us straight into and underneath that cave area. And the pilots have to go through a multitude of structures out there, and in fact come out of the cave and go through another set of gates at the top. There is a recharge gate as well. There is a descent, and then come back into the cave. So that's how the first person view looks like. IMDC is in the lead at the moment. Ion FPV, you can see he's just at the hot tail of IMDC. So IMDC on an early start this evening, looking in supreme form. And all these pilots are doing extremely well. Between Ion FPV and IMDC, there is hardly anything to choose at the moment. Both of them are actually at the same gate. Ion FPV takes the lead at this point in time. You can see Ion FPV will be just coming out of the cave. Look at that. He'll be coming out and then going through another set of gates at the top. Then the descent, and then coming back into the cave. So a wonderful start by Ion FPV, and he completes all the 23 gates for lap number 3. IMDC left in the dust a little bit towards the end, but nevertheless he strikes in with the second spot. And Anand and 25 milliwatts, we will be completing the race with them, and see they are also getting close to each other, but at this point in time Anand seems to have the upper hand. There you go. And the 23, oh my God, this is so close right now. Anand, yes, he just managed to get through. Seems to be limping out there at the last moment, but he held his spot. So let's go to top for round number 1. Very early days right now. Ion FPV on a fantastic start takes 7 points. IMDC 6 points. Anand 5 points, and 25 milliwatts 4 points. So again, keep in mind, I may have skipped this for the rules. For the spectators who are uninitiated, the number of points for a particular round is going to be multiplied by that round number. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with round number 2 so that you can get a grip on how the points are being scored over here. So let's get going, pilots, at the count of less than 5. Again, very, very top class pilots here. Ion FPV off the podium here. Fantastic start for him. IMDC unusually in spot number 4, but he'll be getting back into the game. I think just some issues at the start gate for IMDC. But Anand is doing pretty well right now. He is running hot on the tail of Ion FPV. And in fact, Anand has taken the lead at this point in time. Look at that. We'll be zooming into Anand, and look at that. He is now into the second lap, into the cave at this point in time. Ion FPV is behind Anand, and that's an absolute change that has happened in this particular round. It is turning out to be a fantastic one for Anand, and he's getting a grip, an absolute one on this particular track, dominating this particular round. And Anand will have to just keep going, but Ion FPV just manages to slip through ahead of Anand at this point in time, and Anand will have to get back if he has to again take over Ion FPV. We're waiting for Ion FPV to take up and go through that upper jump out there, and then back through the descent gates and completing the lap number 3. So Ion FPV just managed to latch on to spot number 1 at the very last end, taking over Anand. But a fantastic competition once again. IMDC slipping through on this round number 2. He would be disappointed a little bit with himself because he's not lived up to his expectations, and 25 milliwatts at spot number 4. So there is a little bit of a change here. Ion FPV takes up 7 points, but IMDC is going to take 5 points, and Anand is going to take 6 points this time around, with 25 milliwatts taking home 4 points. All right, so there you go. So spectators, you can see that in round number 2, Ion FPV's points, 7 points are multiplied by 2. That is a round number. And so that's 7 times 2 plus 7, which is 21. And similarly for the other pilots. So that way we're going to score for the other rounds. And only the exception over here is round number 7, where the points are going to be multiplied by 10. So that's a big one. 70 points on the grabs for round number 7. So anybody's game is still possible out here. Keep in mind, 3 pilots are going to go through. And pilots, let's go through round number 3 round, because your race is going to start in less than 5. This time, just take an FPV view of IMDC. And let's see if he's able to get off the podium. Yes, he definitely is in that challenging spot number 1, which is being hugely challenged by Ion FPV at this point in time. He's right behind IMDC, very, very close. Both these brothers, so to speak, they have been competing very closely and rigorously and vigorously with each other. So IMDC and Ion FPV, look at that. They are jumping in between each other's spots. Sometimes IMDC ahead, sometimes Ion FPV. This is IMDC's FPV viewpoint, and we'll switch to Ion FPV for another one. So look at that, Ion FPV just behind IMDC. IMDC is in that blue trail. And again, we have labeled all these pilots and we are tracking them in real time as they go through their rounds. So Ion FPV is in spot number 1 currently. IMDC is in spot number 2. Again, IMDC would be a little disappointed. He left it to the mercy of the heavens in the lap number 3, and Ion FPV just to complete advantage of that situation. Little mistakes here and there. IMDC will be looking to improve upon those. Anand, in the meantime, who was brilliant in round number 2, is going to land up in position number 3 once again. So it returns back to the scoring that we saw in round number 1. So that's 7, 6, and 5, and 4. That's the scoring that we have for round number 3. All right, pilots, round number 4 is on the way, so get ready on the podium. We're going to start the race in less than 5. Let's try and switch cameras out here to give you another set of different angles as much as we can cover, and zooming and zooming out. But right now, the pilots, all of them inside the cave. So Ion FPV is has been the dominant leader so far of this 4 rounds, and he's been number 1 on all of these. Let's see how he goes through round number 4. IMDC has a complete chance to take over Ion FPV because he's very, very close. Look at that. Ion FPV just ahead with that red tail of his, and he is again taking over, descenting. IMDC is following Ion FPV through the descent and coming back into the start gate. So that is the start and the finish gate as they enter the cave area. And look at these gates. Some of these gates are really, really futuristically made. It's properly lit as well, and gives a fantastic view and feeling to really compete on this track. The pilots have absolutely loved it, and they are enjoying it, and so is IMDC actually, because IMDC is running number 1 right now. He completed at spot number 1. INFPV made a few mistakes right there, which will be corrected, and Anand just behind Ion FPV. Look at that. What a close difference between Ion FPV and Anand. Exactly 559 milliseconds of difference between Ion FPV and Anand, the second and the third spots. It could have been anybody's place out there for the spot number 2. IMDC safely in position number 1. He takes 7 points, and that's a very good comeback for IMDC in this round. INFPV takes 6, Anand takes 5, and then 25 milliwatts with 4. So 66, 62, 52, and 40. Very close at the top 2 spots out here. Let's see what happens in round number 5. Pilots, get ready on the podium because your race starts in less than 5. Switch angles over here. Once again, you can see that's how the pilots are entering the cave area, and they are going through those circular gates, the lightsaber gates as well, very beautifully lit out there, and then going up the hill into the rocks. Ion FPV is just taking an advantage of IMDC's fall right there at the top as he went through. So INFPV right now is in a commanding position. He is really running hot, leaving everybody else behind. Anand is the only one trying to chase Ion FPV at this point in time. Look at that, but IMDC coming back from nowhere. This is going to be very, very interesting. Both IMDC and Anand, they are running very close to each other. We can even see from the top view. Look at that. IMDC is very close once again. Ion FPV, but already in lap number 3. This is getting very interesting. IMDC also again committing a few mistakes, which leaves him behind, unfortunately, by a huge 10 gate difference out here, and which will be nearly impossible now to complete and compete with Ion FPV, because Ion FPV is in spot number 1. He has taken the top spot. IMDC at spot number 2, unless Anand really does something magical and but IMDC takes spot number 2. Anand will be completing in spot number 3 with 25 milliwatts in spot number 4. So that gives us again the same draw. So Ion FPV 7, IMDC was looking good, but he again falls down to position number 2. Just making a few errors out there. All right, so the penultimate round, round number 6 coming up, guys. And be ready on the podium. I'll be starting the race in less than 5. All these pilots running hot on each other's tails. And this time IMDC is completely determined, it looks like. And Very, very close again competition between Ion and IMDC at the top. Look at that. If we can just zoom in and show you how close these pilots are running to each other. Ion FPV and IMDC are virtually at the same gate. You can see that both of them are at gate number 4 right now. So it's going to be until the very last gate, looks like, for lap number 3. Both of them have to run in a very synchronized fashion. IMDC is falling a bit behind with 3 gates of difference. Ion FPV is again covering and making a lot of difference between himself and IMDC, trying to make sure that he really seals the spot out there. But Ion FPV looks to be, it just looked like he was stuck for a minute, but looks like he's running smooth now. IMDC may have got a little bit of a hope still left in his bag, and DC just about 2-3 gates behind Ion FPV, and now 5 or 6 gates away. Ion FPV completes at position number 1, IMDC at position number 2. It's going to be a similar draw, but this time 25 milliwatts is really running close to Anand. So 25 milliwatts actually may have a good chance, but he just crashed at that gate at the top hill. And the descent again tried to make up as much, but wasn't good enough. The positions remain exactly the same as rounds 1, 2, 3, and 5. So 7, 6, and then 5 and 4. That's been the story most of the time. So pilots will be just taking a 2-minute break so that you can take a breather. A huge round coming up in front of you. 143 for Ion FPV so far, IMDC 128, Anand at 107, and 25 milliwatts at 84 points. So it's well spread up right now. If anybody gets at position number 1, they can grab those mighty 70 points and just beat the competition out here. So let's just wait for another minute or so, and then pilots will be just relaxing their thumbs and pinches, just running out, making sure all that sweat is cleared up so that they're all set to go for this particular last round. All right, pilots, 30 seconds on the clock for you to run your last practice laps out here before the final round, round number 7. 10 seconds on the clock right now. And we'll be starting the race in about 5 seconds now. 3, 2, and 1. Let's get ready on the podium, pilots. Round number 7 gets ready at the count of less than 5. The final round over here, and it's going to be anybody's game out here. IMDC is looking solid, and he'll be looking to cover a lot of points, grab as much as he can from Ion FPV. And IMDC is looking very good. Ion FPV is not releasing the pressure from IMDC from behind. Look at that again. But Ion right now just making those errors, and that may have given Anand the chance. But Ion FPV again very slick out there, returning to position number 1. So that was very well done by Ion FPV for the lap 2 recovery. And let's see how much closer now he's going to be able to go to IMDC's spot number 1, because IMDC is leading the runway right now. He is already in lap number 3. We are waiting for Ion FPV to enter lap number 3 at this point in time. So there is getting to be about 5 or 6 gates of difference. IMDC is running fantastic. We can see him on the screen out there. About virtually 4 gates of difference only. And again, IMDC should be running at position number 1 out here. He is the winner for the last round. So that makes it very, very interesting now. And let's see what the scoring becomes. So Ion FPV takes 6 and IMDC takes 7. Oh my God, how close that was. And Anand takes 5 points and 25 milliwatts takes 4 points. We had a very close game also last time around, but this time again, Ion FPV just pinching in front and leads the way with crossing those 200 points, a double century for Ion FPV. He's the winner of tonight's race. Very well done, Ion FPV. Congratulations. IMDC running 2 points short of a double century and 5 points of his nearest competitor for position number 1. Anand at position number 3, 157. And finally 25 milliwatts at 124. So the pilots that are going through to the SAH finals are Ion FPV, IMDC, and Anand. Congratulations, pilots. These are the pilots who have qualified from the Western Conference finals into the main SAH finals. Next Saturday is going to be Eastern Conference finals. But before that, there is going to be a golden ticket announcement, and there is actually going to be a golden ticket race. So let's start giving you a few clues, if we may. So it's going to have to be earned by the pilots. It's not simply going to be a spin of the wheel. And the golden ticket is something that will be announcing very shortly before the Eastern Conference finals. All right, so this is what we had tonight for the race. We are extremely happy that you guys joined us once again. All of us enjoyed, so did the pilots. It was absolutely until the very end that we had to wait to see the final results. But in the end, Ion FPV emerged victorious with IMDC just losing out on that first spot. Thank you very much once again, spectators. We are thrilled to have you once again over here. And do join us next time for Eastern Conference finals on the Saturday coming, because that's going to be another great one with the likes of Shady and the other folks out there. All right, pilots. So you have a great Sunday. All the spectators, enjoy your night. Good dreams. And we wish you all the best for the coming days. See you next Saturday. Bye-bye. Alvida.